that over.
You do though. Hey, so okay.
There it is.
I titled the show. It has like kind of an order. So I was thinking we got to talk about the Lakers. We got to talk about baseball, and then straight into football. I think.
Well, yeah. There we go. There we go.
The Rays are who beat. No. I'm sorry. No. Who beat the Cubs? The fucking Marlins.
Yeah, the Marlins did, and then we beat the Marlins because I thought you guys were gonna. I thought the Cubs were gonna play us, and I was very much looking forward to that.
I was looking forward to that for two reasons. First off, to have my team in that position.
Yeah.
But secondly, for the show, it's always better when our two teams are playing each other.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. Well,
which is nice for this weekend. We have Browns and Steelers, which is nice.
Yeah, I would love to join that, but I don't have a team that plays professional football. So
No, you don't. Actually, I have. When we start talking about football, I have a theory about them. So just we'll get back. What is it?
We'll get back to it.
We'll circle back to it.
We'll
circle back.
Let's start the show. Oh, have you guys shared?
Oh no, I have not.
I shared it, baby.
You only have to share it to your Facebook. It's literally through everything else.
Yeah, like everything that exists now. I love it.
I know, it's beautiful.
Girl,
it's beautiful.
My roommate's boyfriend's always like, "Does Sean do a show like every night now?" Because I'm getting notifications all the time, and I'm like, "No, that's all of our other shows." Because he follows them on Twitch.
Yeah. So Sean, we've been using your Twitch. I use it for wrestling too, and I think Ward does Time Spent Poorly through it.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's why I told Ward, I'm like, put everything through it. It can't hurt. It's not hurting your channel. Like, let's put everything through that fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm really excited to play this intro for you. Oh my god, I've been. Ward made this for us, or as Sean calls him, Daddy.
Wow.
So here's
Daddy.
Here's the new intro for the show.
Did I delete some?
It's the sports program on TSPN with Derek, Zach, and Sean, who's been here the whole time. Head over to timespentpoorly.com and give the show a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and help move this show into more people's suggested lists. This show is also streamed live on many platforms, including YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. Follow and subscribe so you don't miss out on an opportunity to chat in and give the guys a piece of your mind during the broadcast. Want to support the show? Great! Go to patreon.com/timespentpoorly to see how you can do that. And now it's my pleasure to bring you the hosts of the sports program on TSPN, Derek, Zach, and Sean.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We are live at 7:18-ish. Exactly.
Wow.
Huh? He put that together for us.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm pretty torqued.
I've been so. He's had that made for like 3 weeks, and but we've had to put off the show. Different things going on. Understandable. I've been so excited to show you guys that.
Well, that's the thing is, 2 weeks ago, you said that you had something cool to show us, and then
I couldn't do the show.
Yeah, I've been really sad because I've been ready.
It's been a sad time. But we're back, baby! I love that intro, though, man. Isn't that intro feels profesh?
Yeah.
I also love that he put it, the way he did it. Like I don't know if he did this on purpose, but I love that he has the pictures of us and has it like go negative and then flash, because it is like a not profesh. Like that part is not profesh, but it's just like corny enough to be perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. I seriously I think it's 100% intentional. Whatever he did,
It's intentional. Like he knows what he did. Like,
I like how I'm just chugging down a beer.
He basically like Tim and Eric does. You know what I mean? Like he.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like when I first watched it, I'm like, is this bad taste or is this like Tim and Eric? Like I know what I'm doing, but I know Ward enough that I feel like he knows exactly what he did.
Is it possible for you to just play the part that's just us, our three stills? Can you get that again going? I just want to see Sean drinking the beer one more time.
You know what I'll just do? I'll just play the whole. It plays through, so I'll just play the intro one more time.
Okay, let's get it one.
It's the sports program on.
That's
Love it. I was able to turn it off. You actually can click on and turn it off. That's nice.
well, it just suits the whole situation because that's what I'm doing the whole time.
I now that I've rewatched it again, even just in this 1 minute, the flashing negative is definitely he knows exactly what he did. There's no way he does not know what he did. I love it. It's so good.
Well, so I made
Welcome to
Bridget
the show.
listen to the intro of one of our shows on Spotify because I was just like, I want to check it out. I want to see how he sounds because I've never listened to it. And he has the intro on the Spotify.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I think it sounds really good. I was pleasantly surprised when I heard it because I check in on it every once in a while.
So he, what's cool about that is that he did all of the. I think one of the reasons why he did it is because he told me I needed to do more of the like say where to find the show, and I wasn't doing a very good job with that. So he helped with that, which was fantastic.
Well, it's hard to tell people where to find the show because it's literally everywhere.
Very nice. Thanks for joining the show.
that's my boy Danny. He's a Vikings fan.
Hello, Vikings fan Danny. Thank you for joining the show. Keep chiming in. We'll highlight your comments. Man, I'm excited about today's show. We got some stuff to talk about. We gotta get going.
What's that guy's name?
Danny Scholes.
Danny Schultz. He'll be really excited when we get to this week's toilet bowl.
Yeah, that's
because I think we both got teams in it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Well, he'll be happy when I pick the outcome of it.
Eduardo is confirming it was all intentional. Yes, thank you very much for confirming for us, Ward. I knew it was. Man. I love it.
We love that man.
Perfect. It does feel very Tim and Eric-y, and I figured it. Zach, to your credit, I was trying to find a way to categorize it, and you saying Tim and Eric has tied it all together for me. So perfect. Man, what a week though. Hey, by the way, LeBron James has 4 titles.
Hold on.
4 titles.
Hold on.
I mean, hasn't he lost 5 though?
Who cares?
He's been to 10 though, or is that right though?
9.
No, is it 9 or has he been to 10?
Lost 6. I think you're right.
Still,
lost 6.
The fact that he went, man, I mean, it's phenomenal. What a career, and he's not done. As soon as he got done with that,
he looked great.
And Dan Patrick made the point today, which I thought was great. I was really excited to hear him say it because it was a really good point. Is that as soon as he got done, he's already planning for next year. I mean, as soon as he's done, it's like because I read some stuff this morning. There's some interest in Chris Paul.
Well, and there should be. I think that's a great fit. Not that Rondo wasn't fantastic in the playoffs, but something we were talking about before the show started. And something that was brought up maybe the last time we did a show, which was almost a month ago now, which is kind of crazy. But Scottie Pippen had that quote where he's talking about Rondo and a few of the other guys who had outstanding performances in the bubble. And I don't agree with him on the first part. He said it's basically like a televised pickup game, right? Because of the no fans. So people like Rondo, who are career below 20% 3-point shooters, are shooting almost 40%. and they're never going to do that in front of a giant crowd. They're just never going to do it. So yes, Rondo was fantastic, but if you can upgrade from Rondo to Chris Paul, who I think has one solid good year left, that's fantastic. And I think LeBron still looks like the best player on the team.
Yeah.
So he's going to have 1 or 2 years more of this LeBron, and then probably another 3 years of second or third best guy on the team LeBron.
Which is still insane. I mean,
which is insane.
He's on track to do exactly what he wants, though, right? Which is play at least a season in the league with his son. Yeah, he's on track. He's on that track. Like he'll get there. If
there's any particular the odds of that happening, we haven't seen it in any sport since Griffey Jr., Griffey Sr. But if any one player has the swing to make that happen, it's LeBron, because he controls the teams that he's on and who they pick up and things like that.
Yeah,
not 100%, but
it might not be with the Lakers.
Maybe he goes to him.
Well, that's what I was thinking about this morning. It could be like Bronny gets drafted, and then because LeBron wants to play with him, and he's obviously made enough money in his entire career, in his entire portfolio, he could take the veteran minimum, go to whatever fucking team Bronny's playing for, play a season with him, be done. He doesn't need the money. If he really if that's what his goal is just to play with Bronny, he could just. And what team's gonna say no? Let's say it's the Knicks, because the Knicks will be terrible forever, and the Knicks get a pick. They pick Bronny because they think they can get LeBron too. So they do it, and then LeBron's he's still going to be worth a lot of money, but he doesn't need it. He could veteran minimum in, play one season, retire with his kid. And if it's
the Knicks, they'll stink. They'll be awful, but he'll ride it out. No one cares about the last year of your career anyway. So even if he went to a bad team to play with his kid, that'd be awesome. But
I still feel like he'd make the playoffs at least.
But I don't know. You're right. I don't know the projections on how good his son is supposed to be. Maybe his son's a late round pick anyways, and he just goes to the Lakers, right? They're willing to give up the 28th pick of the draft for him. But here's what I imagine. The Seattle Supersonics. Wait, hold on. I ruined the lead. The year I do this every time I talk about what should have been Space Jam 2. The year's 2025. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The original way I told this story, Kevin Durant's the main character. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden are all in the tunnel in Seattle. And Durant looks at James Harden and he says, "Y'all ready for this? Space Jam 2. And but now, let's change the story. Whole starting five, right? LeBron, Bronny, Harden, Westbrook, Durant, all in the tunnel.
When is
Bronny
Space
looked
Jam?
at the other four.
Space Jam 2's been filmed.
Yeah, it's not going to be released because they're going to hear this idea.
Why haven't they released it yet, though?
Because of COVID, probably.
Yeah, so I imagine it's similar to what we saw with. I know no one in the world watches The Walking Dead anymore, but the finale of last season was supposed to come out 5 months ago, and they released it last weekend because that's how long it took for them to get the editors back together to do 1 or 2 special effects scenes. So,
was it good?
You can tell why they held off on it.
Okay,
I'll say that you can tell by looking at the 2 scenes that they were talking about why they held off on it.
Also, sad news on that front. This is also kind of a sports story, but the final season of Glow was canceled, which is
dude, I am devastated.
That's a big bummer. Hopefully, I'm thinking Bree and I were talking. Hopefully, let's say a year goes by, and maybe they'll do. It'd be nice for them to do a Netflix movie at least, to at least put an ending on the story. It's a bummer.
I'm so bummed. It was it's one of my favorite shows on Netflix.
Yeah, same here. I think we all. Zach, I know you. I think we all love that show.
It's a top 5 Netflix show for me.
Yeah.
And I know this goes back to what I was just talking about a second ago, but I think the Walking Dead this next final season is now cut down to 6 episodes, and they're not calling it even a season. They're calling it 6 bonus episodes, which is really like we're actually just wrapping this up. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be 24 episodes to end it, and now it's 6 bonus episodes.
So, wow. Just take a shit show and just ram it in someone's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of glad. Like, I'm kind of glad it's not 24, right? Like, did any of us really want 24 episodes of basically just Maggie at this point?
You don't. I mean, actually, now that you put it that way, yes, I do.
So so she comes back in the last episode of this last season after she went and did her own show on CBS, and you can tell they just like made up some bullshit for her character for the last 2 years
So did she just disappear in The Walking Dead?
Exactly. They're like, well, she's busy. Like they intentionally every couple of episodes would mention how busy she is doing this other thing.
That's some Game of Thrones season 8 writing.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden she just like shows up at the end. And then you're like, oh, we're gonna get her to wrap the story up because they realize it had zero clout without one of the original cast. Well, I mean, like, there's still original cast for sure, but I think without her, it wouldn't have made any sense. So they're like, however much you got to pay this bitch, we need her. Anyways, it's not a Walking Dead show.
It is now.
The point
it is a sports show.
Yeah, the point is, well, yeah, and never mind. But I guess the point is that COVID is like completely changed the landscape of what we're watching on television. And I was just thinking about this for you, Sean, yesterday. And I'm glad that the Braves are going to beat the Dodgers, because otherwise you would have gotten to watch the Dodgers and the Lakers win a championship in less than a 30-day time period. Just because of how everything's panned out.
The Dodgers deserve it because the Astros are criminals.
What the Astros are doing to the Rays is a crime.
But I will say this. The Dodgers deserve to lose because Kershaw can't play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Dude, and he actually looked pretty good. This is a great segue into actual baseball talk. He actually looked pretty good through the first 5 yesterday. And then he goes out for the 6th inning.
When he came out for the 6th, I think I was saying the same thing as the rest of America watching that game. Like, why is he coming out for?
We've seen this before, and it's always in the 6th, right? And even after he gets the first out, you go, okay, now pull him. Like, this does not need to get bad. But that was
Homer. You.
This was a 38-minute, I believe, inning, the 6th inning yesterday, and I mean, I almost felt bad for the dude. Like, originally being injured, getting pushed to Game 4, I was scared as a Braves fan. I was saying, shit, because they dominated Game 3, and then I say maybe him getting pushed to Game 4 is a great way for them to tie the series up, and then it's, in my opinion, it was for sure going 7.
I haven't watched a single game.
Your friend Danny is talking about some football stuff. I just let you know, Danny. We'll get there, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, Lakers won. Fuck yeah. Because we kind of there was something I want to say. AD's gonna work into staying there.
Right, and some people, me included, were almost skeptical midway through the season on would he come back? Would he go to Chicago? Would he go somewhere where he is the guy? No. But I think what we realized during the playoffs is they can both be the guy.
Yeah.
This is the first time where like whoever's playing with LeBron doesn't feel like they're in his shadow. Maybe it's LeBron's age, maybe it's the way he's playing, or maybe like Anthony Davis is just a big enough star to where you couldn't you couldn't put him in your shadow. Like, I think Kyrie, that was all mental, right? Like, Kyrie was young, clearly a pretty immature dude, clearly not very like smart because the earth is flat.
Yeah, that was gonna say, when you're that dumb, there's no chance.
Right.
So you just imagine his emotional intelligence isn't crazy great either.
I like the Chris Paul move. I like the idea of a Chris Paul moving there to moving to LA. Obviously, like, LeBron and Chris Paul are good buddies. But also, like, Chris Paul, I like, he's not a foundation anymore. Like, he would be a nice compliment to the rest of that team. So the thing next year is just to keep in mind is, like, Golden State's going to be back.
True.
So that's, like, people are like, for whatever reason, people are forgetting that Golden State's a team, but they will be back. Steph Curry will be back.
It's been 7 months since we've gotten to watch them play. That's why we forgot.
Yeah.
But we're not going to forget once we see them all out there healthy. Yes, they're older. Yes, they're all of them now in Golden State are pretty injury prone. But I just have a feeling they're going to be right there in the West. The West is going to be a bottleneck at the end of the season because I think the Clippers are going to be better. I think the Lakers are going to be even better than what they have been. Like, I believe they have $17 million in cap space going into this next year. $17 extra $1 million to play around with. Like, Chris Paul isn't going to cost you that much. Well, actually, he's still on that bad contract, so they might need it for that if that's what they do. I don't particularly think the Lakers are still attached to Kyle Kuzma, so I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe went out after someone who provided the same amount of offense, but then maybe a little more on the defensive end. And it's already a crazy good defensive team.
They have a first-round draft pick too.
Well, they do, and the Golden State Warriors have a lottery pick, and that they can do whatever they want with.
Okay, so what do you think Lakers would do with a pick like that? Trade
it.
Trade bait?
Well, right now, for this year, man, I hate to, like, regurgitate what I hear in other shows, but a great point made. Sorry, thank you, DP, for some content this morning. But good point made. The draft pick, the draft class this year is kind of weak. So, like,
it's just up in the air too.
You could make a bunch of you could trade away your picks right now because there's not anyone in college right now that's all that desirable.
No, two of the top 5 guys aren't coming from college.
So trade it away.
Yeah. Trade it away. Is that because we didn't get to see any?
It could be.
I think it was pretty even going in, though. Like, a lot of times going into a college basketball season, we know who the number 1 pick's going to be.
Right.
And this year, everyone was like, is it the guy from Georgia? Is it the guy from Memphis? Is it Lonzo's brother? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Then now there's like 2 other guys who didn't play U.S. basketball who they're talking about as well. And I think there's 4 guys who could go number 1. And
I think Lonzo's brother is a good player. I just don't know if a lot of teams are, like, clamoring for him. Like, there's not really anybody that's like, like, he's not an amazing shooter.
But LaMelo is much better than Lonzo at shooting. Like, the problem is even though he is a great shooter in Australia, we need to know how that translates to NBA perimeter defenders. It's not like he has a beautiful shot. None of the balls have a beautiful looking shot. But it goes in. That's the thing about all of them is it goes in the basket. So who cares what it looks like?
That's why I liked Lonzo, was because his shot was so goofy.
He's just and then the rest of his game's very, like, stiff and robotronic. Like, he's an interesting player to watch move around the basketball court because he's also pretty, like, sneaky athletic though as well.
It makes you wish he was better.
But his brother's 6'9" now, like, according to what they're saying. And from what we're seeing in today's NBA, having a 6'9" point guard is extremely beneficial. Like, length everywhere is extremely beneficial. I think the other thing you can't translate, though, between Australia and the NBA is how's he going to play NBA defense? We just can't. We don't know. So I'm having a hard time remembering his name because it's been so long, but I think the Georgia kid will end up being the number 1 pick. But yeah, this year is just not. And then next year is like the super draft, right? Because they're saying potentially still they might let high schoolers come out. So then you're going to get the best 1-year college players and the best high schoolers. Like this isn't the year to have a draft pick, ship it off, get something for the next year, the year after.
So this is the year to make a big to go like, okay, like here's our number 1 draft. So like the Clippers don't have any picks just forever, basically.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the big news out of there is they like Ty Lue is now the head coach, which I don't know I don't know how much that helps. I mean, he's already been on that bench. Like he's already been there. Like I don't know how much he helps that. There is like reports out of there now of like kind of how Kawhi is. Like he's. They've been over backwards for Kawhi, and I honestly I don't see the Clippers being like I think they were rated really high, and now maybe because they lost in the playoffs, maybe they're not being rated high anymore. But
maybe it's because Paul George sucks.
Yeah, Paul George is really we've learned it now. It's official. Paul George is not clutch in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's the type of guy, if it's a regular season game, he will absolutely shoot the lights out in the last couple minutes of it. But as soon as it's playoff time, I don't like him. And that's a big investment. Kawhi, now I'm starting to feel like, yes, the Spurs probably could have gotten a couple more years out of him. Like, so as a Spurs fan, I'm a little upset. But it's like, he's kind of irking me as the type of guy who might not have he's not going to play late into his career like LeBron. He probably doesn't have interest to, right? Like one day he's just going to be done and we're going to be like, oh, he's done because he doesn't care anymore.
Well, because of karate.
Because his karate. Yeah. He gets that 3rd notch on his black belt and then he just doesn't care. He's like, guys, I can break like 7 boards at once now. Why am I wasting money and time trying to be good at basketball?
Well, yeah, wasting money where I get paid.
Or getting paid, I mean, excuse me.
Wasting money getting paid.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, though. Yeah, so the Lakers are interesting. They have cap space. They have draft picks. They have a couple players that they may or may not want to bring back. I think it'll be interesting with a few of them, though, like Kuzma, like Howard, like Rondo. Do these guys come back? Like some of the other pieces that they, waiters that they got last minute.
They also still have, I know he has some like legal issues, but like they have Boogie Cousins too. Like they still have that. That is still a piece.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they do moving forward. I don't know if we ever see Boogie Cousins ever play basketball in the NBA again. I think it would be nice for him to go out on his own terms, but he just kind of seems like one of those big men who aren't going to get to, which is a shame because he seems like a cool dude. But I don't know, Sean. I feel like you have plenty to be optimistic about going into next season.
Well, after hearing that stuff with AD, absolutely.
Yeah, and what we forget about him all the time is that he's still only like a mid-20, like 20-year-old player.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys sign him to another contract, I mean, you guys are going to have 6, 7, 8 more good years where you'll be competing regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, he made the Pelicans at least like got them into the playoffs a couple times just by being out there. Those were some pretty bad teams.
Who else did the Pelicans have?
Well, they did have that 1 year where they had him and Boogie, which was just kind of cool when they were both healthy to see 2 big dudes like that. But that's not.
That was the year. That was a Blazers sweep.
Yeah, but that's not the formula to win a championship. Two just monsters out there. Like you just need length, athleticism, 3-point shooting. Although the Lakers kind of did all of that and had size this year, so they're kind of crazy. Yeah, so I'll be interested to see, like, does Dwight Howard come back? Do players like that want to come back? Or were people like Dwight just in it for, let's get a championship under the belt finally?
Well, I think it looked like he was having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's where he finishes his career.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mostly because, like, he played for the Hornets for like a season, half season. Teams like that, I think he was just using to prove that he could still compete. Now that he's proven he can still compete, you don't go to a mid-range, like small market team and be the guy again. Like, you don't do that. You're not like, I'm going to go be the best guy on the Hornets again.
Yeah. No,
you'd rather be the sixth best guy on the Lakers and win another championship.
I think, yeah, him and what's his name? JaVale is McGee.
Yeah.
I like both those guys.
Yeah, me too. Before we move on at all, I did see that the Brooklyn Nets, my new favorite East team, because Steve Nash is their head coach. I saw they're looking at bringing in D'Antoni still. Like, they have Steve Nash as a head coach, and they're looking at like bringing in D'Antoni maybe.
And that's the guy from Houston.
From Houston, he also coached. Thank you. He also coached Steve Nash when he went in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So he's a very offensive minded, which is why Phoenix lost to the Spurs eventually, because the Spurs had defense.
They were a defensive powerhouse back then.
And I mean, that was a fun Suns team. Like, that was like pristine, like regular season great Suns team, high scoring. So who does that sound like though? The Rockets. That's the Rockets.
Yeah, the poor Rockets.
The D'Antoni has like the same mentality, but I guess the Nets were looking at bringing in D'Antoni because no team has hired him.
I feel like maybe he should sit this one out. Maybe sit out a year.
Pull McCarthy.
Yeah, pull McCarthy. Maybe sit out a year, or maybe just never come back. Daryl Moore, because he's never going to be a successful coach. Like, not if you want to win. But Daryl Morey, their general manager, who also stepped down yesterday, should immediately get picked up because, like, he changed the league with his analytic-driven, obviously what everyone else has moved to mentality. Now, it might have been equally his fault for wanting to go super small, which the Rockets did. So it'll be interesting to kind of know who really was to blame there. Was it Daryl Morey or was it? But I don't know. I think he's going to get a GM job, before D'Antoni gets a head coaching job. Now, yeah. I think what the Nets are probably looking to do is just have him on the staff.
So yeah, that's what the reports were, is like to basically, because Steve Nash has never been a head coach, like, let's have D'Antoni on the staff. He's worked with Steve Nash before. Like, right. I think that kind of offense would work with Kyrie Irving and like Kevin Durant. Yeah. Like, I think it would be, I mean, they would be a powerhouse in the East, which again, it's the East, but a powerhouse in the East. They're a playoff contender already. If they get, let's say they get to the NBA Finals, I don't know how they do against a Western team. I mean, I don't know, but compared to the East,
I'll tell you what, I would already like the Nets more than I like Milwaukee, even with Giannis back.
I don't know, man. I think I might hate Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't want to see him do well, which is too bad because I want to see everyone else in that organization do well.
I'm not a huge Kyrie Irving fan, but my love for Steve Nash outweighs my dislike for Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see which Kevin Durant we get, right? Like, I feel like Kevin Durant paired with Kyrie, we're either going to see that Kevin Durant is not as bad as Kyrie, and you're like, what a great guy, or it's going to like escalate the bad parts about him, and they're just going to be super bitchy, crabby towards the media all season. It's going to be super off-putting, and that is probably what we're going to get. So I'm not going to enjoy that at all. I don't like when people win and then they're still absolute dickheads to the people interviewing them.
Yeah.
So the reason why I wanted to talk about MLB today is because the big news is that somebody on this show is a big Atlanta Braves fan. And every year that we've done this show, because actually this show's been going for quite some time now.
Oh yeah, we're approaching year 5, and
we're
in no
approaching
way
year
is that
5.
depressing.
Dude, it's been such a good 5 years.
It really has, Sean. You look exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. I haven't aged a day.
We're approaching year 5, and the Braves, the Mariners will never be in this conversation. I maintain that. The Braves now, though, Zach, you finally have your moment to shine here.
Well, we were in this.
Last year, though.
Yeah.
Last year the Braves were really good last year. This year they do look better than the Astros, though. I do believe that the Braves could sweep the Astros.
Well, this is such an interesting season because I don't think the Astros are. I mean, they had a below 500 record when they made the playoffs, right? We put 16 teams in this year. They were one of the bottom teams that made it in, but they're talented. But in a regular year, there was no way they were going to recover and still make the playoffs. I truly believe the Rays are a better team. I don't know what has happened to the Rays the last 3 games at all, because I really believe the Rays we saw at the beginning of this series is the Rays we should be expecting. And I thought the Rays were either going to give the Dodgers or the Braves a run for their money because they're so chippy. They're just one of those teams that they beat you a different way every single day. You can never figure them out, but they always have you figured out. And
to your point, I mean, even this season, this shortened season, I mean, the Astros were only just above the Mariners. Like the Mariners were only actually a smoldering dumpster fire this year.
Yeah, they could have still made it in.
They actually so the Mariners actually almost made the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
they're only a few games behind the Astros.
Right.
So the Astros, the fact that they've gotten where they've gotten is incredible. In fact, I actually thought the Oakland A's we're going to go further than where they are.
I thought the A's and the Padres were both like set up to make runs. I'm glad the Padres didn't because I think that this is where we would be seeing them is right here in this series. I'm glad LA beat them. Like they're the better California team. It's going to take the Padres a couple more years to earn that. They're coming, but not yet. These are the 2 best teams playing each other right now. They're the number 1, number 2 in like every offensive category. Obviously, the Braves have a very young pitching staff. The oldest guy we've started so far in the playoffs is 26 years old. We got a couple of 22-year-olds out there, and Ian Anderson and Bryce Wilson. And I don't think people thought Bryce Wilson, who's like a career 4-something ERA guy, was going to go out there and outduel Kershaw last night. Nobody thought that. The future is so much brighter than we even thought to start the year. Like we thought it was just going to be, we're going to have to outbat everybody. But now it's 2-1 in the 5th inning against the Dodgers. We're showing we can win a pitching battle too on a consistent night in, night out basis. So, I think these are the 2 best teams in baseball. They can beat you offensively and defensively. And as we saw with the Dodgers in game 3, they can just absolutely light you up out of nowhere. So, like even when your team's comfortable, they could just blow you up at any point. So even there's nothing safe about the game that's happening right now either. But
don't get too cocky.
Don't get too cocky, kid.
I'm watching the game right now. Okay?
I'm just saying the Dodgers can go off, and they've showed when they do. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That home run was sick.
Yeah, man. They have so many guys, and I'm sure a lot of people say this about the Braves too, but they have so many guys that when they're up at the plate, you just know you're not safe. And like, no two teams have what these two teams have for that factor, right? Any single dude can go up there and just change the game. So,
yeah. Cody Bellinger is terrifying.
Dude, he looks like an 80s movie bad guy when he has that headband on and he like takes his helmet off and flips his hair, and it's kind of like Bryce Harper a couple years ago did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's pretty interesting having the games one day after each other too, right? Like having them be just like
Give
just
me a
having
day.
them.
I like that.
It's a lot though. I mean, it feels like a lot. Like, I mean, God, I'm constantly watching baseball right now, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, I need a day off.
It's game 5 in this series, and they haven't taken a single day off yet. I thought there would be at least one break in the middle of the series, but there hasn't been.
I don't think there ever should be on any sport. Basketball, nothing.
Just keep them going. I actually liked the bubble for that we didn't have so many 2 and 3 game breaks in the playoffs, because they milk the finals on normal years, right? Like they're like, oh, we're going from Miami to LA, so we got to take an extra day or 2 off. And you're just like, I don't need a 3-week NBA final.
We changed 3-hour time zones, so we're sleepy.
I don't need a 3-week final. You know what I mean? Like, let's get it wrapped up in a week. We got stuff to do.
Yeah. Football season's coming, dude. You gotta care.
I'm hoping the Rays. Honestly, I'm hoping. I at this point I want to raise. I want the Rays in. I'm really hoping the Rays can pull it out.
Did they lose?
Yeah, they lost.
Yeah.
What was it? 5-1 still, or was it what?
7-4. Series is tied 3-3 now. So
yeah,
we've only ever seen this once before, right?
So
it was the Red Sox who came back from that 3-0 lead, and that was over a decade ago now.
And they ended up winning, right?
Yes, and it's never happened any other time, which is how it goes back to the Rondo shooting amazing from 3 in the playoffs. It all goes back to this no crowd thing. Like, what the Nuggets did this year, right? 3-1 deficit, came back on both. This no crowd thing has just completely changed like how a series and momentum work.
I like it.
It's way more parity.
So there is like the story is like, I mean, if the Braves, so if the Astros went with the Dodgers, like how satisfying would it be for the Dodgers to beat the Astros? But I say for the sake of the sport at all, I want the Astros to fucking lose right now. I want them to. I don't want them to go to the series. I want them to lose right now and not make it in. I want the Rays
to be good though.
I mean, they would be good for the story, right? But for the story for me is like, fuck the Astros. No World Series. You lose. Like, what is it? Willy Wonka. You get nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
I wanted the Rays to win. I was gunning for like the Rays. I would have loved the Rays sweep them.
Right. I thought it was coming.
You're done. Be gone. Get the hell out of here, Altuve. You suck. Your team sucks. But the Astros are good. They are good. I hate Bregman though. Like, fuck that team. Fuck them to hell.
I wouldn't be too worried. I would be too worried if we actually got that right. LA is the good guys versus Astros the bad guys, because I have a terrible feeling that the Dodgers would be the Dodgers and the Astros would win it with a losing record.
Right.
And then we have a losing record team.
I don't like how you say that.
But I don't want that though. I do not want that. Though. That's why I don't even want. The Rays. They gotta win. The win it. This is the one to win. Win this fucking game.
They want to beat every team wants to just beat the Astros to death.
I say if you get to the 7th inning and you're trailing and you're not going to come back, start beaning those players. Let's just start fucking just beaning them. Who cares?
Give them the special.
You guys are savage.
No, dude,
Load them. Let's send them to the play. Let's send them to the World Series with a bunch of goddamn goose eggs.
They just put what's our closer's name? LA just puts their closer out in the very first inning.
He just starts fucking
beating with people.
They bring Randy Johnson out of retirement to come out and just start throwing 100 mile an hour.
Oh, dude, the Dodgers have plenty of dudes who throw 100-mile-an-hour heaters, though. I realized that the other night when they had to get their bullpen out earlier, I'm like, does every one of these dudes just throw heat? Like, normally a team has a finesse guy or two in their bullpen who's just going to beat you with some breaking stuff. Yeah. And the Dodgers are like, nope, every one of our guy throws heat. Every single one of them. Yeah. And you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, I just saw, I was watching just now, and there was just 94, 94, 94.
I will say for the whole playoffs, I will say, even though the Cubs went out early, it was nice to see Yu Darvish have some pretty good games, though. Yu Darvish is he's gotten this bad rap, and I still think he's great, and he had a couple pretty good games. So
yeah, I thought he was done. I mean, we've all talked about it. Even 2 years ago when Sean was definitely on the show, I think it was even his hot take that he was done. Yeah. That's my new thing is I like to invent old hot takes from Sean when he wasn't on the show.
He never wasn't on the show, though.
Well, I just go, remember that hot take you had 4 years ago?
I have a big 5-year anniversary plan for us.
You do perfect because you've been on the show the whole time.
Champagne's on the table.
We do need to find out when our first show was, though, because we are coming up on 5 years, which is nuts.
It's weird. Awesome. When you said that, though, when you were saying that we've been doing this for a while, I was like, it's been 5 years in my head. And then you said, and I was like, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
And nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
We've always done this in 3 separate locations. Super far away.
I've always lived in Oregon.
With bootleg whiskey in the room.
Yep. Oh, before we move on to the sport,
I called this on the show.
Is this segue to?
This is your hot take. Oh my god!
I had this hot take when we busted these out at the beginning. I said, Sean, I have a feeling you're gonna just keep drinking
that bottle again. Hold up that bottle again. It's low. Okay, so Sean, I want to know, since we started our game where the Washington Football Club for Men, for those of you who are first tuning into the show, I don't know why you would ever do that, but thank you for joining us. We drink, Zach and I have to drink Hobble Creek every time any one of us says the old name of the Washington Football Club for Men. And that was chosen by Sean because he won week 1 of the Pickems. And also he's winning right now. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
First place.
He's also annihilating us all. Yeah. Okay, so
I have a hot take there.
So Zach, Mr. Swan said that Sean would have to buy another bottle of it because he likes what we're drinking.
Well, he would drink it even if he didn't.
He would just drink it because he just will drink it. So, Sean, I want to know: did you finish that first bottle?
Yeah.
And you bought a second bottle?
Yeah.
And I want you to hold that bottle up. I want you to hold that second bottle up. You are still drinking that bottle for fun, on purpose. On purpose.
You gotta drink it. Look at that fucking label.
It's very nice.
It's a really nice label.
Also, before we get into our Pickems here, while we were off air, you did say the word.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold strong. I'm gonna hold strong to it. Last night, Dusty on wrestling radio, he also said it. So I had a shot last night.
No.
All right, fine.
So I'm holding strong to it.
No,
Zach, you don't have to do it. It was before the show started.
No, you have to.
No, the deal is anytime. So, if someone accidentally says it on the chat during the week, it's anytime.
Honestly, though, So when I said
That's
it,
fair.
I wasn't thinking that we were gonna have to take a shot because of it.
Yeah, because he said it. He said it knowing he was
You
going to say
shouldn't
it.
have fucking said it.
Well, I said it like
That's like saying,
I said it like,
okay.
why was that a rule on your show? Like, I thought this was only a rule for our show.
It's a rule 7 days a
So
week.
Dusty
Padre.
wanted me to take a shot of it with him, because that's what he drinks apparently. Because he's a disgusting piece of shit. But
Creek?
he,
You drink
Dusty,
Cobble Creek?
yeah, he does.
What a dirty girl.
And Dusty, I love you, but you're a disgusting piece of shit. And
Yeah,
you just drink this.
I love
No,
you. That's
dude.
rude.
You've got style.
So he wanted me to take a drink, so then he just said it on the show, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna have to take a drink now because you said it on the show."
Fuck,
I just
man.
don't know
Okay.
why you would do that to yourself.
Well, here you guys go. Here's a little bit of this for you.
Poison.
All right.
Oh God!
Hot dog. So here's the thing.
Sean bought a second bottle.
You
And
should have.
I have a feeling what he has is worse.
It's pretty awful, dude. Now it's I it's the same.
Yeah.
They're both disgusting. But
I'm chasing that with water.
this is kind of
That's how
on
bad that
you.
is.
This is kind of on
I
you,
didn't chase it.
Derek, because you said Dusty said the R word, and I in my head I was like,
Yeah.
You should have said he said the Washington Football Club, but the bad way. Like you kind of said.
I know.
You
That's
should
my
have
bad.
said he was being a very bad boy, and
He's
we
a
would have known.
bad boy.
And we would have known exactly what you were talking about.
I mean, no, I wouldn't have, because you're a wrestling show. And
By the
everything-
way, that is a shameless plug for the Smart Mark Wrestling Radio on Thursdays. Please watch that show. It's so fun.
It's becoming one of my favorite podcasts, and I truly mean that.
I appreciate that. We have last night we did top 5 non-wrestlers who should be wrestlers. That's how cool our countdowns are.
I might go.
Which,
listen to
by
that.
the way, I don't know how you didn't have Juliette Lewis on there, because she would absolutely kick ass. And Idris Elba, man.
Damn it. Those are
Idris
both
Elba
really
is
good.
like everything that MVP wanted to be. But
I love those choices. But you know what? But Chris had choices last night that I was like pissed off that I didn't pick.
yeah, he finished strong. I agree with that.
His were so good. His were so good.
I think I'm just gonna start giving my 5 in the chat while you guys are doing the show. So, because I always
need to
think,
bring you on. We need to bring you on though.
yeah, I'll do either of those, because
We're gonna
Thursday
bring you
nights
on.
I'm literally just laying around, Donald Duck style. So t-shirt, and nothing below the waist, and I'm just laying here blasting you guys to a Bluetooth speaker.
Well, next week we're doing. So we did top 5 non-wrestlers who should be wrestling. This next week we're gonna do top 5 current top 5 wrestlers ever who have no business being in the ring.
Yeah, because they can't work in the ring at all.
They shouldn't be there. You could do that one.
Oh yeah, give me something. I need to hop in on something. But by the way, also for real though, because he's coming. He's getting he's generating a lot of heat right now. My boy DC. He's getting on there.
This isn't a wrestling show.
Well, DC, Daniel Cormier is a UFC fighter.
Oh,
He is. Yeah.
You guys should be proud of me. Ever since we started Smart Mark Wrestling Radio, we talk about wrestling so much less on this show.
Yeah, because we used to have like a 15-minute segment every single week.
Run to watch.
Or just anything that we wanted to talk
Yeah,
about.
or just whatever wrestling, whatever, Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
or Dragon Ball Z.
I could talk Dragon Ball Z and Paul Heyman every week, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Because...
So, okay. Football. Here we go.
Here's my hot take, by the way. The exact amount that I am behind Sean is the exact amount of games that the Falcons have played. So if I was just not a dumb, biased asshole,
oh no!
So
I would be competing with y'all.
Well, I don't know because you've had stuff picked and then you've changed it.
That too. There's been other ways for me to stay. There's been other ways for me to stay competitive, but nobody in the world thought the Falcons were going to be all like winless, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I picked them a couple times.
Yeah, I would say even as a non-biased fan, the Bears game, most people would have picked them. The Panthers game, most people would have picked them. And now I'm pretty hot on the Panthers, but we'll circle back to it.
I don't know. You're behind me more than that, man.
And we'll talk Le'Veon Bell, but we'll do it when we get to that game.
Yeah, it's so easy just to talk everything NFL during the pick'em because we have to talk about every single team during.
Okay. Let's do it that way.
So let's do it right now. Pick 'em, baby.
So then let's do it.
Here is this week's Pigskin Pickems through the ESPN app. If you, even if you cannot win right now, Rich, which you can still win on a week-by-week basis, and we see that. So this last week, Sean beat us all, and also overall, Sean is beating us all. Which, by the way, this would be the first time on this show ever. If you win, Sean, one of the hosts won the show, wins the pick'em. I think the first year we did, I think I was number 2. I think I got number 2. I was pretty high, but Sean, you would be the first one ever on this show to actually win.
Yeah, last year, I mean, every single year I start slow, right? The first 6 weeks are trash. Last year I had a killer final run where the last 4 or 5 weeks I was the top, but I was so far behind at that point, it didn't matter. And that's how I usually am. I like to dig a pretty big hole.
Yeah. All right, so game 1. By the way, we have no idea when any of these games are actually played because at this point, we just don't know. With COVID-19, we just don't know.
So so are we gonna go? Derek, Zach, me. Is that the format?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the champ now. You got to go last.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, number 1, we have the Atlanta Falcons at Minnesota with the Vikings. So, I'm going to go with the Vikings on this game. The Atlanta Falcons, I don't even know who's coaching this team at this point. The Vikings all suck, though. But I'm still going to take the Vikings. They're at home against a coachless Atlanta Falcons. I'm pretty easy choice for me. The Vikings will get a second win this season.
Oh, it's me. My plan starting 3 weeks ago, every time that the Falcons were going to come up, I was just going to say whoever the other team was and then nothing else. But we haven't done a show since then. So if this would have been the last 3 weeks, when you went to me, I just would have said Vikings and then moved on. But I'm not a man of my word. Because I got something to say.
All right.
Raheem Morris is our coach, asshole. He was a very terrible coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think he went 13-20 something in 2013, and they fired him. He was a very good defensive backs coach in Seattle, which is why Dan Quinn brought him over. Somehow made him the wide receivers coach, because that's what you do with a defensive-minded guy. And midway through last season, they moved him to defensive coordinator. That's when they beat the Niners, specifically just the Niners, and then had that really awesome 6 out of 8 game winning streak. So the players like him. I don't think it's gonna help. I think the Vikings win, and I think the Vikings are actually a pretty damn good 1-4 team. They're like the Chargers. They've lost a lot of close ones. But the Falcons are terrible. They're worse than the Jets.
Okay. The hot take. And Shawnee, what's your choice on this one?
I don't even gotta say it. I'm the master. I'm the guru. It's the Vikings. Also, I think the Falcons are lying about their COVID outbreak. I think they want their game pushed back because of the coach firing and how trash they are. I think they want the extra time. So that's my conspiracy theory, is I think they want that extra time to postpone game because they're being sketchy.
Well, we only had one staff member test positive for COVID. It's not like we're like everyone's got it. We said we got one staff guy, and then we said let's go.
That's even you're playing in my conspiracy even harder. Just one guy.
We want to lose, but there's no conspiracy there.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's a guy named Trevor Lawrence who's going to look amazing in a Falcons uniform. And Dabo Sweeney is going to be an amazing coach in Atlanta.
Vikings by 30.
I can't wait till we get to the Jets game. All right, Chicago Bears at the Carolina Panthers. You guys, the Chicago Bears are 4-1. I don't even. Wow. Yep. So I'm going with the Bears on this. And until they give me a big reason to choose against the Bears, like I'm taking the Bears. Taking the Bears on the road with an upset. I think they win. Taking the Bears.
Yeah, it's not an upset, but it is an upset, right? Like being the road team right now doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I think it is an upset in the fact that I want to say the Panthers are the Vegas favorite somehow. I don't know how. If you blindly asked me who the Vegas favorite was in this game, I'd say probably the team that beat the Buccaneers, right? And has looked weirdly good all season. That being said, if you've been watching this show, I have been extremely hot on the Carolina Panthers for no reason all season long, and I am going to continue that streak. I love what Teddy Bridgewater does as a game manager. I love the defense. I like my homeboy Mikey D in the backfield, and I love that receiving core.
Keep it going.
That's a great team. Let's go, Carolina.
All right. To me.
Okay, so let's see who really is going to win.
I was so excited about my pick'em last week because I did pick the Bears to beat Tampa Bay because I have zero faith in Tampa Bay.
Me too.
Wait, let's hang tight on that real quick because I was not hot on Tampa Bay going into this season. Okay. But I got a lot of scrutiny from Mr. Walters here.
Okay, hold on. Touche.
I got a lot of scrutiny from you on that.
Okay, so now that I've seen what Tampa Bay is doing, you were saying this before you even saw a thing. You were just pre-hating Steeler hating all over Tom Brady. That's all you were doing.
No.
Yes, you were.
I just didn't think. No. Okay.
Anyways, I picked the Bears last week to beat Tampa Bay, which was like if it wasn't for the Chiefs and the Niners, I think that would have been my best week of pick'em. And so, anyways, I'm picking the Panthers.
Okay.
I'm with you, brother.
Because I do think, although the Bears have won some games, and the only reason I picked the Bears is because of how good Nick Foles looked coming into the game before that game.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe he was just kind of nervous. Mm-hmm. But I still think Carolina's going to pull it out because Robbie Anderson's insane right now. Yeah. Mike Davis, Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, they got something going.
It's kind of what I thought was going to be really safe football isn't as safe football as I thought. Like they have offensive talent.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Like if you didn't go just pick up Robbie Anderson because no one drafted him. If you didn't go pick him up in fantasy off the waiver, like after the first couple weeks, you kind of fucked up.
Yeah, he's saving a couple of my teams right now. Like two teams that I got him on. Him and Mike Davis actually both have really kept my season together in the only two that I'm competing in.
I actually don't want Christian McCaffrey to come back.
Neither do I.
Sorry.
I need him to come back. I don't have anything else. I haven't won a game in fantasy. Come back, Christian. Join this team.
I think IRL, though, like in real football, I think they're going to figure out how to get both of them on the field now, right? Like, very similar to what the Packers do with their two running backs. Like, let's find a way to get them both on the field.
Well, yeah, because, like, think about Christian McCaffrey getting injured. Sorry. If he had another running back to kind of help relieve him in that way, he probably would have got injured.
Fair. We have the Cincinnati Bengals against the Indianapolis Colts. This came down to quarterback for me, man. I'm going to go with Uncle Phil. But Burrow's been great. I mean, he's a great quarterback, and I think he'll have a great future in this league. Right now, though, for that division, though, it's Steelers or Browns. It ain't the Bengals. So I'm going with Colts.
Yeah, for me, it didn't come down to quarterback because then I would have taken the Bengals because they have the better one. I think that Phillip Rivers is the worst of all 32 starting quarterbacks this year, and I like Phil. Uncle Phil's been my guy, but Uncle Phil is done. It's over. I love him. I love him. No,
I know you
cursing, do. No cursing.
Yeah,
but he's done. I like them because I finally can say this with confidence. The last show we did, I always hype the Colts defense and it never delivers. Well, now they're the best defense in the league. They're living up to it. And that's a scary place to be as a rookie quarterback, right? Yeah, I like the Colts, but I don't think it's a blowout by any means. I
don't think so either.
Joe Burrow finds a way to make a little magic happen in every game, right? Like, and he's got weapons, so why wouldn't he? But yeah, I like the Colts. Shawnee, the guru.
Sorry, there's a pickle. There's a pickle.
Yeah, you're also keeping me updated on the game because I can't do the podcast and watch the game at the same time.
Sorry. Here it is. I don't care how clean you try to keep the game, Phillip. You're Mormon. You're sassy. You kind of look like Michael Keaton. Well, fuck you, dude. But I picked the Colts to win.
I think that should be your new strategy. Just talk shit and then pick that team every time.
I picked the Colts to win because the defense. I think in the end they're not gonna. I think they're gonna maybe. They'll probably make the playoffs.
This next one is this is actually my game of the week, and it's not because of my bias. I actually do think this will be the game of the week. It's the Browns going against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a close game. I think they're going to be hard fought. There's going to be fucking fights. It's going to be a weird game. Because this last year, but just because the history between these two teams. This is going to be a fun game. If it's not on a channel that I have, I'm going to be pissed. Because this is going to be a great game. I am taking my Steelers over the Browns because that's my team. But by the way, Sean, the Steelers have not been under 500 in a decade. They've missed the playoffs like twice in a decade.
And I
have a Hall of Fame quarterback. And I have this defense. By the way, the Browns, they're not going to be running like they normally do. Our secondary, hit or miss.
Thank you for making that face, Zach. I saw that face.
The secondary, but not that run game. That's not going to happen this week. I am taking the Steelers over the Browns this week, but I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be hard fought. It's also going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be semi-low scoring, but boy, Claypool, that's the guy. Wow.
They're all the guy, man.
Hold on. Did everybody in this room try to go pick him up in fantasy?
I tried during the game, and somebody already got him.
You're talking. Of course, I got him in the league we're in together.
Oh, okay. Because I tried to get him. I didn't see who got him. I tried during
the game I watched with the Eagles.
Yeah,
and he was already fucking picked up. Somebody got him.
Yeah. Actually,
I have five people on the team my team's so fucked.
I haven't given up on Deontay Johnson yet because I think once he's healthy, he's the number one target, the number one stunner. But you know what? We know who Derek's gonna pick because he's a Steelers guy. Let's go ahead and do. Let's do Sean next because we know he's a Cleveland guy.
Hold on, real quick. I'm not done. I do. Not only do I think the Steelers are a contender in the division that they're in, I still think the Steelers are a contender in the AFC. This team makes the playoffs. They're scary.
You think they'll make the AFC Championship?
I think they could make the AFC Championship with the Chiefs.
Okay.
Look out for the
Steelers this year, baby.
I'll go next. I had the Steelers picked, but then he was talking all that shit, so I switched.
No shit talked.
Well, you bring a little more heat than necessary. You're kind of like that hot sauce in Hot Ones, where you're like right in the middle. It's unnecessary, but you got to get through it to get to the hotter ones. So I switched to the Browns, and I hope they run all day.
I hope they run all day too. I hope they do too, because it won't work.
No, it will.
I think TJ Watt embarrasses the run game.
Guys, I think after last year, Baker Mayfield has a lot of confidence playing the Steelers. He got pretty hyped in that game.
In both games.
And I don't think he is afraid of their defense. Here's the problem.
And they have a kicker now.
Here's the problem, though. He should be worried.
You got me all hyped up for no reason. You pull the.
I like to get him right before climax. Just rattling that G spot, and then I like to go. Oh man, something suddenly came up.
I came.
Yeah, or you don't make something up and you just tell them that you're done, and sorry, this wasn't just for you.
Yeah, he should be worried though.
Yeah, this isn't just for you. Don't be selfish and go clean yourself up. That's what I say.
You shouldn't be worried.
Here's some money for some cab fare.
They got a kicker. They'll win by field goal, hands down.
Well, I think, Sean, just by the fact that you had the Steelers as well until Derek made you mad, just shows where we all think this game is going. But I do think that if the Cleveland wins, we're all gonna we're just another game behind you, and so that's going to really suck. So I'm a little upset.
Give me that momentum I need.
I'm a little upset that Big D poked the bear now, but it could be completely necessary because if you lose, that's a game for both me and Sweet D.
Sweet D.
Anyways, I'm going to take the Steelers. I already had them picked. I think I picked this last Monday. I think it's going to be a close game. And I think whoever wins this game, by the way, I think whoever wins this game in the series between those two teams wins the division over Baltimore.
I like that. Yeah.
I agree. I actually do agree with that. Man, I like the Browns this year, though. I do think they're a good team. It's just I have to believe. I have to take the Steelers this year. With Ben back, healthy offense, great offensive line. I was really kind of hoping for a Le'Veon Bell reunion.
Did you really think that was even an option?
Uh-huh.
Really? That's crazy. That's not what I thought at all.
I think it was a media created option, but I would have liked it as well.
I would have loved a reunion.
Did you see it on the internet? I don't know why you would even think.
No, some shows talked about it because they just, I think the topic was, do you think he left on good enough terms for it to happen? Would they accept him? So on and so forth. Because when he announced that the Dolphins were in his top 3, I think all of us were like, really? Dolphins, what do you say? Dolphins, Bills, Chiefs were his top 3.
God, I wish he would have went to the Bills, to be honest.
I think he would have been awesome on the Bills. But I believe the way that the Chiefs will utilize him in the screen game,
no,
it's just another weapon.
I feel bad for Edwards a lot.
I think Clyde's not going to lose any touches, man. He just really didn't have a backup, especially with Williams taking the year off because of COVID. I think Le'Veon is just a backup.
Well,
but one of the reasons why I liked him back with the Steelers, though, is because it's another weapon for Ben. Because Le'Veon he's a great wide receiver too.
Agreed. That was. The only reason I didn't bring it up is because that wasn't in the three teams you mentioned. But the two best fits for him would have been Kansas City and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Because of the screen game.
Yep.
Or San Francisco.
Well, true. But you guys have like 1,000 running backs.
Their two biggest plays of the season have been from pushing the pocket screen plays, or Mostert getting in, and they're both 80, 90 yard. They were like both 80-yard touchdowns.
They're monsters. Those guys are monsters.
No, they're not. But we'll get to that.
The next one, we got Denver Broncos at New England Patriots. I believe Cam Newton's back. I'm taking the Patriots at home.
Who did I pick?
That's all I got.
Yeah, Patriots.
I think Locke's
there's not much to say.
I think Locke.
Oh my god!
I think Locke was moved to questionable.
Also, by the way, on that last game, Baker Mayfield's also playing hurt. So
nice.
That's in the past. We're not talking about that anymore.
His backup Case Keenum. So
it's
that's called a victory.
It's the Patriots. It doesn't really matter who the Patriots quarterback is. We still look at them at home as the Patriots.
Yeah.
There can be no Tom Brady and no fans, and we still go, it's the Patriots at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm taking the Patriots at home.
I'd love if the Broncos just rub their sloppy little waiters all
it'd be fun
over Foxborough, but
it'd be fun, but it's not going to happen. For me, it's not going to happen.
Probably not happening unless Jerry Jeudy just goes ape shit. Just crazy.
Sean, you took the Patriots too.
So I'll put a little words into it though.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots. There's nothing to say about that game.
No.
I mean, Cam Newton's back. The only reason they lost is because he wasn't playing.
I guarantee that game is number one for games we don't give a shit about.
Yeah, that might be top.
Besides for the very next one that we're about to talk
Well,
about.
and the Lions are at the Jaguars, and I don't give a fuck about this game. But I do think that the Lions are the best 1-3 team they could possibly be. So I'm going to take the Lions on the road.
I actually just don't think either of these teams are very good teams. I think this is probably 2 of the 5 worst teams in the NFL. Yeah. I think it's Jets, Falcons, these 2, and then probably the Broncos or the Cardinals. But
Cardinals?
Yeah, the Cardinals, just because of Kyler Murray, people forget that they're absolute trash. They're a bad team.
Yeah.
They're the worst defensive team in the entire league.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
statistically, that's not my opinion. That's just stats.
So what are you taking, Zach?
Oh, I didn't even pick it. I just it's gonna be a 0-0 tie.
Okay, are you serious?
I have the Lions. I think the Lions actually play a really good game.
Yeah.
I think they look great.
Sean, what do you got on this one?
So I think it's gonna be kind of like a shootout. But I think the Lions win it, but I think it's going to be a big scoring, stupid game because of that.
Which could be fun.
I think, especially for fantasy.
The Texans on the road against the Titans. It pisses me off that the Titans are 4-0. I feel like they're being dealt a really nice hand by getting COVID-19 and got to take a bunch of rest off and be a fucking
having COVID.
Yeah. So for that reason, fuck the Titans. I hope the Houston Texans win the game. That said, it's hard for me to watch that stiff arm and go against the Titans, so I am taking the Titans.
But hey, that's just Derrick Henry all the time. You can't just get like that, But
I'm taking the Titans at home. I hope Deshaun Watson has a huge game because that's my quarterback in the league I'm in. I hope he has a massive, beautiful game.
I like how in our group chat you were like, I'm going to give up on him, and then he threw a big, good pass to Will Fuller, and Will Fuller made it into a touchdown.
Yeah, and Cooks finally had a game too. So the Houston offense is actually starting to get going now that they got rid of that dumpster man of a coach that they had.
The racist.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien was so bad.
He's from Texas, right?
Well, he was their coach and their GM, which is why you don't really make that move in the middle of a season, right? Like you do that in the off season because he's also your GM. But
I saw a lot of memes online about Pittsburgh not getting JJ Watt because Bill O'Brien would value him too low. So like Pittsburgh could get him for a low price, But because Bill O'Brien sucks.
Yeah,
so it's like, but now there's no hope. They'll get somebody in there who will value him high enough. So like a lot of Steeler fans were like, "Oh man, it'd be really cool to get JJ Watt, like get all 3 Watt bros."
Yeah,
but I was no.
Sweet.
Yeah, it would be awesome. But now whoever they brought in there as a GM will they'll value JJ Watt where he should be.
They'll probably know how to do their job. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's too injured.
Bummer.
I
would love to see them on the same team though.
Yeah. That being said, the Texans can really beat anyone when they have Deshaun Watson. Like he is that much of a game-changing quarterback. Yeah. The safe bet here is Tennessee. Not only that, but I agree with you about the garbage back-to-back breaks that the Titans got because they looked so well rested last week. I don't think many people thought they were the better team over the Bills, but they just looked so fresh.
Did you pick them? Did you pick Tennessee in your pick 'em?
Nobody did.
Nobody did.
I didn't.
I am taking Tennessee this week because I think it's the smart move. But if there was an upset this week, it's probably this game.
Yeah. I don't know. After Derrick Henry seems like he might be doing that thing where he just gets going. So
earlier than normal. Yeah, once he gets going, there's no stopping that team.
I'm gonna go. I don't have anything to say. Just Tennessee.
Oh, and there's an AJ Brown sighting. So it only took 4 other receivers basically getting COVID for AJ Brown to finally have a game. But once Corey Davis is back off COVID protocol, and they have Corey Davis and AJ Brown, and their tight end's a monster. God, I understand why Tannehill's good now. I should say that.
Well, yeah. I liked him in
he was never bad. He just had Gase as a coach. Yeah, I think we all know.
I liked him in Miami completely. Mm-hmm. I had him in fantasy as like a backup or used him on a bye week or whatever.
Next game, good news for Giants fans, for me anyways. I think the Giants are going to get their first win of the season over the Washington Football Club for men.
And sometimes boys.
I do. So Kyle Allen's starting. Boy.
What, he is?
Yeah.
Boy, scary to see Alex Smith take 6 sacks, but power to him and comeback player of the year for sure. I really do believe that. That said, I think the Giants are a really good 0-5 team. It's weird to say it, but like, I think this is a better team than what their record indicates.
So
I'm taking the Giants on the at home.
I got to change my 5 worst teams list because I didn't mention the Giants or.
You almost said it. You almost said it.
But I didn't do it. But we're not taking shots for almost.
We should.
I didn't even start the word. He could see it in my eyes.
You stopped
You
yourself.
saw the fire in my soul.
Well, no, you could taste the Hobble Creek, so it stopped you.
Yeah, I puked in the back of my throat a little bit. I was like the Washington, and then
Very nice.
I choked on it deep. Anyways,
what are you taking on this one?
Yeah. So this was hard because they really are. This is the real toilet bowl of the week.
Yeah,
so,
it really is. Yeah,
because like the Vikings and the Falcons at least have talent. When you watch that game, you go, look at all the talent. There's so much talent here. Besides for Kirk Cousins, there's a lot of talent, and then there's Kirk Cousins. But the rest of both the teams have talent. Just then there's also Kirk Cousins. But this game, there's none. There's literally no NFL players on either side.
And Kirk Cousins used to be on one of these teams.
This game is like trying to pick an XFL game. Like when you don't know anything about either team.
Exactly.
Week 1 of the XFL. This is week 1 of the XFL. You don't know anything about either team. You're just guessing. That being said, I'll take the Giants, I guess. And it really is a guess because Washington could easily win this game, except for we know for sure that their quarterback sucks. And like that's something we know for sure. Because Kyle Allen sucks.
You know what? If Alex Smith was starting the game, I might take.
If Alex Smith was starting, and yeah, exactly. That's where the pick came down to. If Alex Smith was starting, I would have taken them. And you know what? Dang it! If you let him go out there and take 6 sacks, get his ass kicked, he deserves to start the next game.
He should be absolute. I 100% agree. He should be starting this fucking game. And I looked earlier in the week to see who was starting in this game for me to pick. Because I like Daniel Jones. I actually do think I think he can be good.
Yeah.
But I was going to take Washington if Alex Smith was starting the game. Yep. But he's not. So, nope. I think Alex Smith ends up playing in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
But if he was starting the game, I would take him.
Yep,
but no, he's not. So no. Same thing, Sean?
You guys took it out of my mouth. I was going to say everything you were going to say. I had Washington picked. You guys told me he wasn't starting. I switched it.
Yep.
Because
I want Alex Smith to start this game.
You want to know why my picks are kind of the way they are? I pick my Pickems during Sunday. At like the end of the night, after because I watch all the games all day, so I pick my Pickems at the end of the day, and I picked it because Alex Smith was in, and it didn't look like that fucker wasn't gonna have a concussion.
Yeah,
that fucker got knocked the fuck.
I'm so glad he didn't break that robot.
You can't break the best fake leg money can buy.
Yeah, that's true. And then but I picked the Giants.
Yeah. I've gone back and forth on this game, and I sent Derek. Derek, was it you that I sent the screenshot of it where I was like, "Wow, ESPN is not helping me make a decision." Like all of their odds makers are like Giants by 1, Redskins by 1, Giants by 1. Oh God, I did actually say it right there.
Oh no! You did.
And that was not.
What the hell?
How do I have that much like foresight for the entire show? It's because I finally did an off the cuff like little rant right there. That was my first.
Damn it.
That was my first off the cuff rant in a while.
Is Sean gone? Is he missing it?
I don't know what happened to Sean.
I'll wait for him.
I think he's. By the way, you remember how we were talking about this? Has nothing to do with football. This is just talk. When we started talking about how episodes were going down off the internet left and right? Like Hulu's taking, or who is it? Hulu took down the episode of Workaholics that has Chris D'Elia in it, and then It's Always Sunny took down the blackface episodes, right?
Yeah.
They also took down, and you can't get it on any streaming service. You can't even buy it on Amazon now. They took down the Martina Martinez episode just because D does Martina Martinez.
Context is everything. It's satire. That's too bad.
I know. I don't complain about that stuff because I'm a firm believer that even if it doesn't offend me, if it offends someone, I'm understanding, right? But context is everything, and we have to understand what the message is.
Right.
And if they're playing shitheads that are intentionally doing things that are wrong to highlight that it's wrong.
Charlie calls her a racist in that episode.
Right. Right.
Sean, are you around? I can hear you doing stuff.
Yeah, bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Sean,
There
did you hear Zach's mistake?
You said it?
Accidentally.
I had to use
Obviously.
the restroom, so I turned the cam off to run away to pee.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? We were done with that pick. We were moving on.
Well, you went to black, and you guys can't let me just talk like that.
I didn't. I thought we were moving on to the next pick. That's why I ran away.
You know, like
Come on.
at any point, I'll pour up real quick. At any point in any relationship that I've ever had that went south, you can always say like, well, how did that happen? I said, well, they just let me talk for too long. And then I said some stuff.
We almost made it through this episode without one.
And then I said some stuff.
And we
But they
still
didn't
have
like.
2, 4, 6 picks where he could still fumble up.
Well, their pick is done.
Doesn't matter. You're going to start talking about the Eagles. Maybe you'll say it during the Eagles pick.
Because they're in the same division.
And then
Let's
you might
move
say it
on.
during the
Let's
Cowboys
move
pick.
on to the next game so we never say it again, but let's also fucking take this one.
I hate myself.
I love you.
Not as much as I hate myself.
You're on your second bottle of that. God damn it. Disgusting. It's like poison.
It's poison. I don't have anything else to drink in the entire room.
I haven't been using a chaser with it.
I
By the
have
way.
water. I'm chasing it.
Yeah.
I've been using it to train myself to not use a chaser.
Yeah.
Chase it with a dick.
I did
Baltimore
that many
Ravens.
years ago.
Baltimore Ravens are traveling to Philadelphia. It does not matter to me who's traveling where on this game. I went with the Ravens. Does not matter.
What do you got to say about that, Zach?
Well, we all know that the Eagles are the best 1-3-1 team in the league right now.
Really? You think so?
Huh?
Over the Washington football team?
The
Yeah.
1-3-1.
I'm baiting you, dude. I'm baiting you. Don't do it.
No, because they're 1-4, not 1-3-1. And
Fuck
that's
that.
just
The
because
Texans
you
are
want to
better.
take another shot, you sick fuck.
The Texans are better than the Eagles. Fuck yeah, they are.
They're all fine. They're
No.
all like okay.
I took the Ravens.
The Texans
Ravens.
should be better than they are.
Who'd you take?
I also
Zach?
took the Ravens.
Ravens. Okay.
We don't need to talk about it. We all
Sean,
know that
who'd you
just
take?
You
The
know who I
Ravens.
picked. I ain't got to say
You
it.
took the Ravens. All right. New York Jets, the Miami Dolphins. Boy. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I don't really have much to say. I think the Jets are that bad.
It just hit me. Did you see like my nose just literally turned like it went from pink to red?
Why is your nose so red?
Well, because of early onset alcoholism.
Well, I
Early onset.
took 3 shots before the show.
I didn't have any alcohol. I'm pure. I'm
Me
always
too.
pure.
Look,
Not
God
now,
is with
baby.
me as well.
Not now,
Um,
baby.
So
I like that hat, dude. I like that hat.
Time's been poorly.
I love it. Good change.
How do I get it? Do I subscribe to the Patreon? What do I do?
That's a great question. I'll ask Eduardo.
No. Daddy.
I'll ask
Okay.
Daddy.
Can you ask Daddy if
All
he
right,
can send?
okay.
If he can mail one to me?
So are you picking the Dolphins or not?
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins. The
Okay.
Dolphins. But wouldn't it be funny?
Wouldn't it?
Fitzpatrick has had some monster games. They've been big games, right? He's upset some fools.
Okay. Don't. Say
Wouldn't
what
it
you're
be
about to
funny
say.
if it just became classic Fitzmagic, Fitztragic, whatever, and then he loses to the Jets after having like back-to-back stellar weeks?
Okay. So you is that it? Is that all you got to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm picking the Dolphins because I'm starting Ryan Fitzpatrick in one of my leagues. Guess what happens every time I do this when he's on the streak?
It breaks. And you want to know why it's going to break?
You want to know why I'm trying to break it?
I can tell you why that streak's going to break. Because they're going to get an early lead. He's not going to be passing the ball the whole second half of that game.
Listen, I'm the breaker. I'm the breaker of chains. He is going to... I pick him up in fantasy when he's on his streaks, and then he starts losing. I'm doing this out of spite.
You're sick.
I'm sacrificing a fantasy league out of spite.
To bring him down?
But I'm also picking them and pick them.
Yeah, me too.
They are going to win this game and pick them, though. All right. Green Bay Packers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Man, this is fun. Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. I am taking the Packers on the road, though, man. That's a good team. The Packers are genuinely a really good team and probably maybe might win the NFC. So... until the Packers give me a reason to choose against them, I'm going to take them. Packers on the road.
Yeah, I'm back to that logic too. Like when a team is this hot, looks this good, maybe the best start statistically is the best start of any season of Aaron Rodgers, the greatest quarterback of all time's career.
Yeah.
Can you pick against that?
Yeah,
I can't.
Nah.
And also, Tom Brady doesn't know what down it is anymore.
Oh God,
we have to get a guy to help him off the field from now on. Because he doesn't
Guys,
know when to get off.
I have something to say.
Say
Oh,
it.
sorry, you go ahead. But I'll say it when it comes.
I don't have a lot to say about this game, actually.
Honestly, when I was watching that game, I thought they had one more down.
Me and you both did.
Because I texted. We were talking.
We were texting back and forth.
DP Show also said the same thing. One of the guys in the show said they must have another down, right? Tom thinks so.
Well, it wasn't even because of that. I honestly thought that they had another play.
Right, because the point of the Dan Patrick show is that because they were playing like they had another down, it was like, oh well, Tom thinks they have another down, they must have another down. Like just that's how accustomed we are to like Tom Brady now. Is like, oh well, he's playing like they have another down, so they must have another down.
Right, he threw a very arid pass on fourth down, and you go, oh, that's because he knows he has another one.
Right.
Well, no, because even before
it felt that way.
Even before he threw up the fourth, when that pass didn't happen, I go, shit, they still have another play.
And so did I. It's because of the way he just slinged it. He slinged it like he had another one.
Right.
Are you sure?
So I think that was the point of the Dan Patrick show. Is like,
I'm with it.
Well, he was just playing like he had another down. He must have another one.
Rewatch it. I need to rewatch that series.
A couple good takeaways from that game, though, and I know they lost, but the run blocking for Ronald Jones was fantastic. I texted on the thread during that game. I thought Gronkowski, especially now that OJ Howard's out, he dropped a couple, but he's getting open, and his run blocking is phenomenal. I think Gronk is physically back, and him paired with Cameron Brate is a really great tight end combination. I don't know if Godwin's back yet for sure, and even if he is, I bet he's pretty hurt. And then it really seems like Mike Evans is playing just to get touchdowns, right? Like he's too hurt to be playing, but they're keeping him in the red zone because he's the most effective red zone wide receiver I've ever seen. Dude, so they're saying, we don't care if you're hurt. We'll get you out there and Tom Brady will throw you a touchdown. And it's working, but they seem pretty banged up.
That pass he caught was insane.
Yeah, they seem pretty banged up, though. That's all I'll say about the Bucs. I just don't. I'm not confident in a banged up Bucks team against an extremely good Packers team.
So I agree with you. I think Packers are going to win it. I do think Gronk was looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really cool to because he's not as big as he was.
No, but he's getting his strength back.
But he's still not looking big, and he's blocking great. And I don't think he needs to like put on any more pounds because I think that's just a deterrent for him.
No, he's always been a leaner tight end.
I don't know, man. He always looked pretty big to me.
But he's not. There are some tight ends that are wider dudes.
I mean, he's not like Jordan Reed or you know what I mean? Because Jordan Reed's a big dude.
Yeah.
But I thought Gronk looked before he went out. I thought he looked really big.
Yeah.
And he just looks cut now over like big. So I don't know.
Because
but I'm thinking Packers. I hope I don't.
It's because Gronk is wrestling weight right now.
Yep.
Oh yeah. He's the 1 week champion or whatever, right?
Yeah, 24/7 champion. All right,
and he'll be back.
He will be back. Yeah, he'll be back in wrestling. When he's done with this, he'll be back in wrestling. That's what he wants to do. He wants to do wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Rams against the 49ers. I will admit that for right now, I was wrong about the Rams for right now.
I think all of us were.
Not me.
Yeah, fuck that. You did too.
I've been picking the Rams since like week 2.
No,
For
but
right now,
we haven't had a show.
It's my turn though.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna.
For right now, I was wrong on the Rams. I thought the two contenders in this league. Remember, I picked the 49ers for the Super Bowl. For my two picks for this league were the 49ers and the Seahawks. I still think the Seahawks are absolutely for real. The 49ers I'm less hot on because of the Jimmy G stuff. He's still too hurt.
Excuse me?
He's just been playing bad. So in this game though, I am going to go with the Rams on the road. And I'm sorry, Sean, for that.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Rams on the road. And I have been hot on them because we did a show where they played the Bills, and I picked them against the Bills, and they should have won that game.
But they didn't.
But I'm just saying that shows how much confidence I have in this team.
Well, they raised it.
I think they're one of the top dogs in the entire NFC. I think they win this game. I haven't given up on the 49ers for the whole season. I think they're going to get their act together at some point.
Me too.
I'm just really hot on the LA Rams right now. And similar to the Packers, until they prove me wrong, I'm going to keep picking them.
Yeah. Sean?
No.
That's all you have to say.
The Rams are going to win.
Yeah.
I picked the Rams. If the Niners win, it gives me a little more hope for the season. But they're not going to.
Okay.
I've seen this year in, year out with injuries. Last year was different. They didn't have any injuries. I think Sherman was out a couple games. I think Bosa was out like 1 or 2 games. But this isn't last year's team. It's not.
It's not. I agree with you. It's not.
It's insane. And everyone's gonna say everyone's gonna be like it's the Super Bowl blues. No, they fucking lost their 2 fucking best defensive players in 2 minutes in MetLife fucking Stadium. Right. Which, by the way, I'm sad because that game happened, and we haven't had a show since. And I was gonna make a shirt that said "Burn MetLife Stadium to the ground."
You still could have made the shirt.
I'm going to make the shirt. I'm done, dude.
You can make the shirt.
It wasn't just those 2 players going out. Mostert, who had ran 2 huge plays in 2 games.
I had him in fantasy, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Have him run those huge plays. Have Jimmy G literally, get a fucking high ankle sprain by, he pretty much was wiping his ass and he sprained his fucking ankle.
By the way, I'm starting to get less hot on Jimmy G. Like
It's not. He can't throw on that leg, and both those passes that were intercepted were tipped. I'm gonna fucking black out when people keep talking about that shit because both of those passes were tipped. If they're tipped, they're gonna get picked. Fuck that. It wasn't his fault. I mean, balls get tipped, man. If they get tipped, they're gonna get picked. So fuck that. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
It's not like he fucking threw into bad coverage. They were fucking tipped. I watched every football game every day. I watched like fucking 3 or 4 games a day.
I'll say this: no matter how he's playing, I'll always be hot on Jimmy G.
Woo!
I'd suck that off.
Guy. He's a sexy
Guy
guy.
hangs dong.
Dude, my favorite.
Guy hangs dong.
Before we move on, because
Mom.
we're getting this is long.
Good luck
Before
trimming
that
this
game-
down, Ward.
Before that game, George Kittle was like, he's got a great arm, or he's got a great face, he's got a great arm, and he likes to throw to me. It was really funny. Anyway.
Kansas City Chiefs at the Bills. Finally, I get to say it. I think the Bills are such a good team, but I think that Kansas City is going to go to Buffalo and do whatever they want. Man, I love the Bills this season. But I don't think it fucking matters. I think the Chiefs are going to. I think the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl this year. Man, that's the team to beat. I hope the Steelers have a great season and can just, do a nasty upset in the playoffs. But it's hard to go against the Chiefs, man. Hard to go against Mahomes. That said, the Raiders.
Yeah, no one saw that coming.
Figured something out.
You put it best, Zach.
Don't blitz him.
Well, so I actually stole that from someone over the offseason during the draft. They made it pretty obvious when they drafted Ruggs in the first round and then another receiver in the third that the Raiders are building a team to hang with the Chiefs. That is what they are building. They're building an offense that has speed, that can beat you down the field, that if they need to get in a shootout with a team like the Chiefs, they can do that. And they showed that strategy is already paying dividends way earlier than anyone would have expected. The Bills are not built that way, though. The Bills are not built that way. They have to grind out wins usually, or Josh Allen just has to create a ton with his legs.
But also on defense, though, the Raiders also showed, though, don't blitz the quarterback.
Right, because
keep your coverage. Don't blitz him. I honestly hate to go back to that on a broken record. I think the Steeler defense is actually built for the Chiefs.
I think that they'll do a great job of just with their front four getting to him fast enough to where he has to make a quick decision, and then they'll probably spy him instead of blitz him with like a linebacker. I agree. I think they will look pretty good against them. Back to this game, though, I still really like the Bills. I think they have a great chance of bouncing back after.
You're right, Sean.
I think
Whatever,
they got him.
Sean, you're second.
I think the Bills got kind of embarrassed by the Titans. Right.
I think so too.
I think we can agree that was a pretty embarrassing performance. Once again, shows what a month off from COVID can do for your team.
That's really nice.
Or 10 days, but a month off from COVID can do for your team. I just don't think that Buffalo has the style of offense that can hang with the Kansas City Chiefs. Eventually, they're going to exploit even a good defense. They have so many weapons.
I'll say that I'm going to root for the Bills in this, though, even though I'm taking the Chiefs. I hope to lose. I hope to lose this one.
Yeah. So to have a break like the Titans did was insane. And what was it? A 10-day break? Is that what you said, Zach?
It seemed like it was almost 2 full weeks because they actually ended up getting a week actually all the way postponed, so it was 2 full weeks.
Yeah. So that's unfair, but that's fine.
It should have been forfeited, but whatever.
I'm picking the Chiefs. I just think fuck Mahomes, whatever. And they're gonna come out of that loss like what it's going to be like a Tom Brady thing. Like Tom Brady takes as a fucking loss, and then they come back and they come out with vengeance. And so I think they'll win, and I hope it doesn't deter the Bills for the rest of the season.
I don't think it will.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But that's a great point, because I said the Bills were going to come out after a loss and just come out firing. But I completely lapsed that the Kansas City Chiefs just lost to the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
Or the LA Raiders or the Las Vegas Raiders. They're one of the Raiders. They raid some place.
One of them, yeah.
They raid a place for sure. Yeah, playing the Chiefs after a loss might be a little scarier.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I know we've talked about it already, but excited to see where Le'Veon fits in after this week, because I'm sure it'll be a week or two to get acclimated.
It's not going to even, it's not going to be.
So we're all taking the Chiefs, but we'd be okay with the Bills win here.
Well, I think we all would prefer the Bills.
Yeah.
I'm picking the Chiefs because I want to beat Sean.
Sean's doing pretty good as well. Sean's like right up there with you, doing pretty well.
He's literally a game behind me.
Yeah.
He's literally
And finally, for Monday night, but there could be more. For Monday night, there could be more. But for Monday night,
we're gonna have 16 games on Monday.
There also could be some on Tuesday. So first, this Monday right now is the Cardinals at the Cowboys. I want to tell you a couple things. First off, I would love for Andy Dalton to have a good game. I would love that. But that said, I hate the Cowboys and I'll always hate that team. So fuck the Cowboys. But I love Andy Dalton and I want the Red Rooster to have a game.
Coming for you.
Now,
I'm in you, bud.
Now, that said, the Cowboys defense is so terrible.
Cardinals
They're
are worse.
So bad.
I won't say worse. I'd say they're equal.
The Cardinals have the 32nd ranked defense in the league.
I picked them up.
Statistically. I had them last week too, because they were playing a garbage team.
Dax had 2 touchdowns and 500 yards, and they lost that game. That defense is so bad.
Yeah.
I decided to go with the Cardinals on the road on this game.
But Dak was playing teams that weren't that good that could let you throw up those kind of yards.
Yeah, one of Dak's games was against the Falcons, which means it doesn't count because he wasn't playing an NFL team.
He was playing a high school team.
I am going to take Arizona on the road in this game. With that said, though, a Cowboys win here would make me sad because I like it when the Cowboys are the worst team in the league. But I like Andy Dalton and I want him to have at least like a Carson Palmer career. So I'm okay with the Cowboys getting a win here.
True.
I agree with Sean again. Seattle's defense is Russell Wilson. We haven't talked about this because we haven't done a show in a few weeks, but me and Sean in particular talked about this a few days ago. The reason I would rather be a Steelers fan right now and have faith in the Steelers is because they can find a way to beat you every week. That means they have talent at a bunch of different levels. That means they have coaching that can get the job done. Very similar to last year when the Niners just found ways to beat you every single game. They outcoached you. They outplayed you on both sides of the ball. On the other hand, we have teams like Seattle where it takes Russell Wilson being an MVP at the end of every single game to win it. That does not win you championships. That gets you out in the first round of the playoffs. Think about all the MVPs we've had. Last year, Lamar Jackson. Year before that, Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes' Chiefs team 2 years ago wasn't ready for that. Last year's Baltimore Ravens team wasn't ready for that. It took MVP performances to keep you in games.
Yep.
That's where the Seahawks are at this year. So
and that's where I'm excited for the Steelers to be a well-rounded team.
But that's why we aren't talking about how bad Seattle is yet, because he's covering it up.
Also, they're in a bye week,
and it shows right that the Cowboys, their wins and even their close losses aren't really against defenses that matter. So the Cardinals can have the 32nd best defense and just outplay you on offense. I think this is a perfect game for the Cardinals matchup wise, because it's just going to be a shootout, and I'm going to take the Cardinals offense over the Cowboys offense. Although I'm with you, I think Andy Dalton having a good game, I'd be okay with it. But he's the only person on that team I'd be okay with having a good game.
Yep. Same.
Guru?
I'm going Cardinals. I'm going Cardinals. After talking, I don't know. Might want to switch.
You get a switch?
No.
Does it scare you how many picks you've had the same as me and Derek this week? It's been a lot of similar stuff.
It's not. No, it doesn't scare me because I think if we would have had a couple shows, maybe when we would have talked about it, you may have switched because of our conversation.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, you could have.
I would have probably, yeah.
You could have heard me talk about that Bears pick and been like, oh yeah, okay.
But that Bears pick's on a Thursday, and we do a show on Friday, so it would have been too late.
Well,
also, I didn't pick anyone. I lost anyway.
Well, maybe that's something we can consider. Like if we're gonna
I would have picked the Bucks.
If we're gonna do every show every Friday, like maybe we need to look ahead that week and be like, okay, our show's not till that week, but like this is what we're gonna pick that Thursday.
It's pretty safe to say that all the rest of the Thursday games are gonna get COVID canceled.
Well, that's because of people getting one case and being like, we gotta shut it down.
So Sean
we're a fucking volcano of garbage.
Sean brought this up to me the other day, and maybe this is a good place now that we've
two Seans here.
We've gotten all of our picks in now, right? Like that was the last game.
Yeah, we got it.
I didn't finish what I had to say.
Oh, well, are you going to switch?
No, I'm gonna pick Cardinals.
Are you going to switch?
Tell
me what you're gonna do.
All that shit, but they're 3-2.
Well, they're still a bad team.
That doesn't make you a bad team. 3-2 is very good.
For now, how many? You know how many years? Do you know how many years the Lions have started 3-2?
3, 4, 5.
Do you know how many years the Lions have started 6-4, 6-3, and then finished the year 7-9 every time?
They're above 15 teams, and they're not fucking choke hazard Matt fucking Stafford. Choke hazard. He should have a fucking label on his shirt that says, "You might choke if you fucking come."
Stafford's not the reason why the Lions are bad.
Sean, you can say all you want about Matt Stafford. That doesn't bother me.
Stafford's not the reason why the Lions are a bad team.
Yeah. But you're talking about the Lions, and yeah,
but Stafford
he's the QB. Who do you blame? You're blaming the Niners because of Garoppolo.
I didn't blame Garoppolo.
I'm talking about guy on the left here.
Guys, I've never blamed anyone for anything in my entire life.
It's easy because you're down below me, so I can go. Fuck him. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, and you're wait. Yeah, but
other side.
So I point here, but is point to Zach? No?
It's the other side. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, Sean brought this up to me, though. Other Sean, not on the show, Sean. Brought this up to me the other day about how the NFL really should just call it a shorter season, but with the same amount of weeks. That way you have the flexibility to just cancel some games and not have to figure out how you're going to renegotiate 16 games to fit into a 17-week time period.
I liked that too. I liked that too.
Yeah, you already got rid of
14. Go 14.
Give everyone 3 bye weeks to negotiate some time.
Yeah, you got rid of preseason. Yeah. It's already
just kill that Steelers and Titans game that's supposed to happen. Just fuck that game. It's done.
And if a team goes 14-0, then they tie the 72 Dolphins, and there's no asterisks.
Right.
So something we don't do, because you can do it on that last pick game. We never talk about like the points we pick, the spread or whatever.
Do you want to know what I picked for that game? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, I think we should, like, because you can pick it on the Pickems.
I never pick it.
I always put it in.
I always put it in. I don't think I'm ever going to get it. I
never do.
Does it have to be exact or what? Because I'm not sure how it works.
I think it's just a tiebreaker. So,
okay.
So closest spread it would come down to, but it's never going to come down to that. Like there's so many picks over the season.
I did 21-20. I just did it right now.
38-35 is what I have. 38-35.
Yeah, really? I always just pick like 20-10. Just always.
So I'm not very good at Pick'em because I'm not very good at things. But what I am good at is spreads. And if you think either of these teams is going to stop the other from scoring less than 30 points, you are fucking crazy. This is 38-35 at the minimum.
This game?
If there is an over-under in Vegas on 60 points for this, I am taking the over, and I love that shirt, Derek. The Blink-182 It's Always Sunny shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Very nice.
Did you make it, or did someone get it for you?
We bought it online.
Oh, the internet.
My wife got me that, yeah.
Nice. You're very, you know what, that's a great point, because like when I look at that stuff, I don't look at like what those defenses are doing in other games. I just kind of put it in. I don't like, that's something, although my Pickems have been amazing this year, and I might be the guy to take it all the way.
You're the guru.
Unlike Sean.
I think you're going to get a hot head, personally.
Well, I'm kind of getting full of myself.
You are the guru, though.
Let's be honest, though. Like the first week happened.
We're helping you get in your own head.
Oh, shit.
Sean. Who should I pick this week? Because you're the guru, and
you are the guru.
I'm going to switch all my picks to whoever you said tonight.
Okay, yeah. Let's go back. Cardinals, Chiefs, Rams, Packers, Dolphins. We all had the same picks.
No, you picked the Browns out of spite.
Yeah, because someone was a dick.
I wasn't even a dick.
I didn't. By the way, I closed out and I didn't save it, but I'm back in. I'm saving it right now.
I wasn't even being a dick.
And Derek picked the Bears, where me and you picked the Panthers, so there was a difference there as well. And nobody at all. I bet this is the first week ever in the history of the Pick'em. I shouldn't say ever. This season, where not a single person picked the Falcons. Nobody even said like they might win this. Nobody is saying that.
I think Dalvin Cook is gonna just.
Oh, Sean, thank you so much. Welcome to the conversation.
That was the conversation. Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Sean Marsh.
Well,
I don't think so.
Everyone didn't think the Bears could beat Tampa Bay, but here we are.
I think the biggest thing the Browns have for them is that run game, and I don't think it happens with the Steelers. I don't.
Why?
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch Baker Mayfield win that game. And
Let me go back to a couple games by those.
He's short.
We don't have to do this on air.
We can do it after.
I thought he was short. I'm serious.
He is short. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening to the show.
I thought he was.
He's very short. Thanks for listening to the show. We love you. We had a great night. We had a good time.
2-hour show. Jeez.
Wow, it's a long show. Worth it.
We got to get off of here before the Hobble Creek hits everyone.
Dude, I'm blasted.
Find us on all of the ways you can listen to the show. You're amazing. We love you. Have a great night.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Mom.
Well, we had some other people.